everyone, welcome to a video. This video will be about the current respawn mode, which is tier 6. I will be covering my personal 3 favourite ships for this, tactics, and good consumables and do's and don'ts. So, let's start with, you want to have a ship that is relatively fast but not super speedy, because you don't want a ship that is very slow, because then if you die you're going to have trouble getting back. But you also don't want a super fast ship, because if your ship is concentrating on speed, it's not concentrating on much else. For example, if your ship is something really fast, like the Budyonny, it's not going to concentrate much on armor. I find that some of the best ships for this event are brawlers, because high health is not a necessity, and you can be more aggressive than you usually would in one of these ships. Like right now, I'm in a Nuremberg, but I'm able to push, because if I do die, it's fine, because I can respawn, and our team is still winning. But something like a Budyonny, I don't think it's the best choice, because it concentrates much more on speed. Another thing that I find is that you don't get many carriers since it's tier 6. So, destroyers have quite a good time, actually. Destroyers and light cruisers are the best, in my opinion, for this event. Fast battleships and battle cruisers are quite good too, but in my opinion, these are the best 2 ship classes for this event. So, some do's and don'ts. Well, you don't want to push too much, like this Black Dallas is right here, because they are dead. Too bad I didn't finish them off. But they're not going. You don't, even though you can respawn, doesn't mean you should charge right ahead, because you still lose points if you die. It's not like there's no consequences. Another really good thing is low health, high damage ships, or high risk, high reward ships, because you can take risks, because you have multiple lives. There are also many different strategies for this. Some of the best, in my opinion, include rushing when they're not expecting it, and brawling. But if you're in a destroyer, you don't want to just rush ahead, no matter how tempting it might be to rush ahead just like that, because you can, because it's not the best. Really should have gotten that kill, but didn't. And this also isn't a ship review. And I'm dead. But there are some don'ts and do's too. One of the things that you really want to avoid is playing a typical battleship like the Americans. Like, the New Mexico is way too slow for this event. Yes, although speed's not required, if you do have speed, it's a good advantage. Because get back to the battle quickly. You don't need it all the time, but when you do need it, it is very handy. Another thing that I keep forgetting to do this mode because I'm not used to it is use your consumables, because you have unlimited basically, and Molotov gets the MVP. They played well, but you also really need to coordinate with your team. If you're low health, go behind a high health ship. If you're high health, go behind a low health ship. So, now, let's look at some good ships. So, generally, we want high damage and low health or high risk, high reward ships. So generally brawlers, and speed is not required. But then again, you don't want to be too slow. So, I'm going to tell you three of my general favourite ships for this, and then some other ships that I would suggest. So, my favourite ships for this are and some of the really good ones are probably the Nuremberg, because it requires it's high damage, low health. It's a brawler, and it's German, so it's really good at those two things that it does. It doesn't have the best AA, but you won't come across many carriers, generally because you don't have any premium carriers in Tier 6. So there won't be people playing carrier respawn. Another ship, the Vasterus, I hope I pronounced that correctly, the European Tier 6 destroyer, requires flooding, and something that I find is people use the damage controls quite often because they think those get replaced too. No, they don't. You still only get your 3 per battle. So you don't get your lot. There'll be people who waste damage controls in this, and you can finish them off with floods. Also, you want to have skills that have lots of good uses, but you don't have many uses of the skill. For example, radar. It's a very good skill, but you generally don't get many. Same with the high smoke generators. So, Vasterus actually does have a radar, which makes it quite good, especially for flanking and causing mayhem among the enemy team. The last ship I'm going to suggest 2 more ships that I've played, then I'm going to tell you some other ships that I haven't played. So, other ships that I've played, I think the Hatsuharu is actually really good because it has Japanese torpedoes to high damage, but it also has smoke screens, which means when you die, you have more smoke screens ready. You only have 6 torpedoes, but they're very good torpedoes. They're Japanese already, and they're bigger than most other torpedoes on enemy ships. In fact, you'll be doing double the torpedo damage of something like the Vasterus in a single torpedo salvo. So if you can get them all to hit, you can be a very deadly ship. And I'm also actually going to suggest the Bayern, the Tier 6 German battleship. It has a decent speed. And if you have it, the Prinz Attila Friedrich, because that's like the Bayern, but faster. And for ships I don't have, there's 3 of them actually. I suggest the Graf Spee, which is a ship I really want actually. It's probably top on my list of ships I want. So that because your low speed makes up for your high armor and big guns, so you shred those players who play cruisers, and you can cause mayhem by brawling with your torpedoes, secondaries, and main guns. Another ship, really good ship, the Fubuki, because you have low health, you can zoom in there, torpedo things, get a ton of kills, and you will want the other really good ship is the Molotov, right here, which is basically a better Kirov, and it has the 180mm guns, which have a good rate of fire for a heavy cruiser, and they are tremendous. They give you amazing amounts of damage against cruisers and destroyers, which will be your main enemies generally. And yeah, so some ships you might want to avoid. In my opinion, the American cruisers, because Pensacola and Dallas, because they don't have torpedoes. They rely on their guns. And this is quite good, generally, but in respawn mode, this isn't really what you want. The next ships I'm going to suggest is the Trento and the Duke of Gloucester, because they have the extremely good anti-destroyer guns. So you can get rid of destroyers that people are playing, and keep doing that, because you'll never run out of destroyers. And you can also, the other really good ship, and one more last ship to avoid would be the Russian cruisers, because they have low health, high speed, and they're not very brawly. They're more defensive. Can't be shot at. Flanking ships. Because people are going to go, ooh, lightly armored Russian light cruiser. I'm going to go murder that thing. And you'll find you'll have not the best game. So yeah, that's my opinion on the Tier 6 respawn mode battles. I will probably do another one on Tier 7 when it comes out again. And let's have one more battle. Here, the most carriers you get are bots, so that Graf Spee is going to be a problem. They're serious. Trento, Bayern, New Mexico, and Fubukai. All really good ships, in my opinion, except for the New Mexico in this. So, let's go destroy some enemies. And I'm using the Nuremberg again because I really like this ship for this role. My team, we have a Fusion, Arizona, Bot Ryujo, New Mexico, Farragut, and what seems to be a Pensacola, I believe. So, one of the really good things I find about respawn mode is that you can scout better than you normally can because you can take much greater risks. In something like Fusion, when your torpedoes really hurt, you are able, let's pop my sonar, to go, oh no, that is going definitely to hurt. So I can go, oh, my torpedoes on the Fusion do a ton of damage. I am going to go YOLO and hit that to New Mexico with my load of torpedoes. And if we both die, it'll be better for my team. Maybe I could get killed. Precise aim. Trento is the best at range. That thing is a heavy cruiser. And here's the Fubuki again. They only take one torpedo, but they are dead. We also seem to be... Maybe we can get another shot. Yes. It's gonna be able to hit me. Unless I do right now. Yep, there we go. Oh well, I've distracted them. Our team is winning. This I feel will be a very good battle. One of the things you don't want to do is be distracted by flanking ships, because if a ship's flanking, you can easily punch it back. If someone respawns, they can easily hit the flanking ship back. So if you're defending a cap zone, in a cap zone like that Trento was, you don't want to focus on the ship that's all the way over there. You want to focus on the closest ship, the ship with lowest health, generally. Like that Farragut on our team would be the main target of an enemy ship because of its low health, meaning it would easily be taken out. So let's hope I can find that Trento or something. Yep, here he is. Precise aim up. They're not firing at me, probably because there's, yep, low health fusion. And there's a Fubukai over there. Fusion manages to get his torps away. So I'm actually going to start reversing. Because that Fubukai is coming quite near. And I do not want to be fighting a Fubukai. Sirius is taken out. I don't want to fight two ships at once if I don't have to. So launched torpedoes, the Trento, and now Trento gets taken out. So let's shoot the Fubukai, who has probably learned his lesson from dealing with light cruisers and has decided he has better things to do than rush a light cruiser. And we win. Now these battles are actually really good for grinding medals like the No Martyrdom or Big Caliber or Kraken, actually, because you can easily get multiple kills and tons of damage. I find that when I do this, I actually get really unlucky in kill numbers, because when I go to kill something, someone else actually kills it. But that's just me. So I hope you guys all enjoy this mode, have fun. Hope you guys enjoyed the tutorial on this mode, and have a good day.